Welcome to the DNP Conversation, a recorded interview series featuring nursing practice professionals from across the country. Our purpose is to share the amazing work of doctorally prepared nurses and how they're making an impact on patient, organizational, and academic outcomes. I am Dr. Jeannie Corey, formerly Garber, from James Madison University.
And I'm Dr. Brenda Douglas from Drexel University. Thank you for joining us. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Sara Ahten. Dr. Ahten has a rich nursing trajectory in both practice and academia. Since 2002, she has served in academia at Boise State University School of Nursing. Currently, she is graduate faculty in the Doctor of Nursing Practice program. She also has extensive administrative leadership experience. Thank you, Dr. Ahten, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Please, would you tell us about your passion to educate and mentor nurse leaders of the future?
I would have to say that every experience, both work and education I've had to this point, has led me to exactly where I am supposed to be, because my passion right now is mentoring and educating nurse leaders through this DNP program and watching them as they progress in their career. I'm loving every part of it.
Thank you. Thank you. And another question that relates to your passion is, what brings you joy or excitement in your teaching?
I would have to say, as an educator, it's those aha moments, those times when you're teaching new concepts or concepts that people haven't considered yet, and you see that light go on in their eyes, and you see them start to consider, what are the possibilities? What are my opportunities? And I think that that is the greatest joy as an educator, is seeing that progress that they start making. There's excitement, I think, when they start to understand their role as change agents, when they start to see that things that they thought could never be changed, all of a sudden, all of these possibilities open up for change. What's particularly enjoyable and exciting for me is seeing people who have many years of nursing experience start to regain that enthusiasm and that excitement for practice again, for their contributions and what they can do as nurse leaders. They're engaged. I start hearing about what they're doing at their workplace. So yes, they're students right now. They're having to learn, but they start taking those lessons and they start applying them, and they come back and say, let me tell you what I did in this meeting. Let me tell you what I'm doing on this task force. And I think that comes from their knowledge of the acquisition of skills that they can take with them when they finish the program. Their practice is forever transformed.
Thank you for sharing that. What contributions and impact do DNP prepared nurses provide to workplace and communities?
I think that those of us who teach in DNP programs, especially in postmaster's leadership programs, know about that immediate contribution they make as part of their DNP scholarly project. For me, outside of that individual project they're doing, what's most, I think, gratifying is the idea that they can replicate the process that they've learned in preparing that project, and they take it back to their organizations, and they can teach people the steps and the skills needed in order to, for example, do a thorough literature review looking for best evidence before they decide what they're going to implement. I think that ability to structure the process and to teach others that process is so important, not just in the short run, but also in the contributions that they make. And, you know, as I think about it, there's even a more extensive piece, because as they mentor and as they teach others, those people in turn go into their units, their departments, their community organizations, and they teach it. And so what we really create is a ripple effect. We create, you know, not just that immediate impact, but it's like throw a stone in the lake and you watch that expand and expand and expand. And I could give you so many examples of what our alumni call us back and tell us that they have done and say, I would never have believed we could do this. I would never have believed we had the ability to make that kind of an impact. And I did it because I went through a program and I learned a process for doing it. I have an evidence basis for doing it. So, you know, as an educator, those phone calls, I live for those phone calls and those emails that say, guess what I'm doing now? I just, yeah, there's no words to describe what that means.
You know, the way when listening to you speak, it makes me excited as well. And it makes me think about what really the purpose of this, particularly this recorded interview session, is about. You know, it's that ripple effect. It's like, what do we do now and how do we pass it along to others, and how do we share the information that excites us and brings us joy? And you did an amazing job today of sharing what you're passionate about, how important mentoring is, and how you want to see us impact the DNP prepared nurses of the future. So we thank you so much for joining our conversation today. And we thank you to our listeners. Nurses across the country are making significant contributions to the health of our communities and to the leadership of healthcare organizations and to our academic institutions. Now more than ever, it's imperative that we continue to dialogue about what we do, how we do it, and the successes that we experience. It is our hope that these conversations fuel and inspire you. Let's keep the conversation going. And until next time, I am Dr. Jeannie Corey, and along with Dr. Brenda Douglas, we thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you. See you next time.